what Step Up is doing. I am old enough to remember the entire evolution of the mental health movement in America. In the 1950s, when I was just a little boy, one of my relatives was literally warehoused in a state mental hospital, and I went there, and I will never get over how horrible it was. In the 1970s, when there was this huge movement to deinstitutionalize people who had mental health issues, because many of them were competent to live on their own or live with supports if they were properly treated or got proper medication. I was there, and I had a lot of dealings with, as a young lawyer, with our local community mental health center. And then I watched all that support erode and drift away, and I watched the number of people with mental health issues just fill the streets with nobody supporting them. Then a few years ago, I saw California enact that tax to fund proper mental health support facilities for people in communities. But somebody has to literally step up and create a home and a service center. You have 50,000 homeless people in the LA area. About 20% of them are quite young. About a little more than a third, Todd said, have various mental health issues. If you just look at this facility, the kind of living facility it is, the kind of community facility it will be, where people can come and eat and make friends and make connections and get support and get properly diagnosed and basically be part of a community that tells them they're not disabled, they have abilities, but they need to be in a supportive community. It's got to make you feel good that you're here tonight. And, you know, professional athletes are sort of like ex-politicians. I got to say this about Kobe and Vanessa. You know, they got to have a foundation because they have to give away a certain amount of money. But they don't have to be serious about it. They don't really have to do anything. I watched them when I toured this facility tonight. I saw the questions they asked, the things they looked at. They know this stuff, and they care about these young people. And I am personally very grateful to Kobe and Vanessa Bryant for what they have done with their foundation. And I'm just here because by the time I got out of the White House, it was too late for me to be a musician. And I was never going to be a good enough golfer to be on the senior tour. And the American people had given me the chance of a lifetime. And so if I didn't do this work that I do, there'd be something wrong with me. But you all have choices. You don't have to give your money to this. You don't have to be here. You have other choices. I'm glad you made this choice. And anybody who's ever had anybody in their family or anybody they love who ever had a mental health issue knows that we don't ever want to go back to the days when human beings were warehoused. Most of them had temporary conditions at the time that could have been completely cured. We never want to go back to that. But we cannot live through the hell of having people roaming the streets alone, who are part of our communities, part of our families, and can be part of our future, and can work and make a significant contribution to the welfare of Los Angeles, California, and the United States. And it's just a blessing to me that my friend Steve and Andy at Shangri-La have wanted this to be a LEED certified building. And when I was going through it, Rick Pedrizzi, who's the head of the National Green Building Council, said, he looked at me and he said, it's not just LEEDs, it's platinum LEEDs. That's the highest rating you can gain. My presidential library was the first and may still be the only building in the entire federal system that's a platinum LEED system. Oh, that means that these people with their mental health challenges are living in a facility, are going to be served in a facility that is that green. And they deserve it too. It's good for the Los Angeles economy. It's good for lowering your long-term energy burden. And besides, I went up on the roof and saw the garden.
Unbelievable. Isn't it incredible?
I was eating out of the garden, I confess. Sort of like a rabbit, it's the way it is. If you grow up in the country, you're used to eating out of the ground, you do it when you can. It was really wonderful. So my pitch is, don't let this be your last trip around this block.
Yeah.
Keep supporting these people.
Yes.
There are 50,000 of them out there. This is going to serve thousands of people and have full-time living for 34. And they're building many other facilities as part of a commitment that Step Up made with all of its partners a couple of years ago at the Clinton Global Initiative in New York. But I've been doing this long enough to know that what I saw tonight is profoundly good and profoundly needed. And you live in one of the few states in America where the people have been willing to fund mental health, although they're only too happy when they don't, to fund all the wreckage afterward, which is far, far more expensive. So take advantage of it, build it, support what Kobe and Vanessa are doing, support what Step Up is doing, and stay at this until there is nobody wandering the streets alone just because their friends and neighbors didn't realize they were also their brothers and sisters. Thank you, and God bless you.
I want to thank President Clinton for being here. It's a great night. He has been in California and enjoying the globes, but also helping raise money and helping take care of people. And that is something that we really have to keep focused on, taking care of each other. And so we appreciate you to this day and always. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Now we'll turn it over from the guy who we remember when he began as number 8 and now is number 24. And yes, he is one of the greatest basketball players of all time. But yeah, you're right. Look. But what you don't get to see is Kobe Bryant behind the scenes. You don't know that no other NBA player has spent more time with patients from Make-A-Wish. No one is putting their money and their time and their efforts away from the basketball court to help other people. And that is just as special as any three-pointer or any 30-point game. Kobe Bryant.
Speaking always makes me nervous. It's not the last second game winning shot that makes me nervous. It's these type of things that make me nervous. But I want to thank everybody for being here. I want to thank our President Bill Clinton for being here and for kind of helping us champion this cause of the challenge of ending homelessness, of eradicating homelessness. And this is something that my wife and I are extremely passionate about. It's a challenge that we've embraced. It's a challenge that we've accepted. You know, we all know the statistics, and you know, I think it's very important to look at the cause as what it's become, which is pretty much white noise. It's something that's kind of faded into the background. These are kids and people who have kind of been, you know, pushed to the side or cast off to the side, and been forgotten. And I think it's very important for us to have these events, to continue to raise awareness, and for them to know that they have people here that will embrace them, that care for them, and that will help them and guide them and give them a sense of direction and purpose in their life. And I just want to thank you guys again, and you know, we all thank you, and my wife and I thank you, and our family thanks you, and have a good night.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you, Kobe. And I do want to take a second to acknowledge Vanessa. She's right over there, Vanessa. Wave to everybody. Vanessa Bryant. I want to thank her. Remember back in 2000, Kobe wins the championship, and there's this girl, as you're walking around, I'm like, who is that? It was the one. And it is great to see the evolution, how they've grown together, and now how they're helping take care of the homeless here. All right, I want to quickly introduce Andy Meyer. We're going to bring him up to